Beruchim Abbaim Rabotai. Welcome to a special edition of our Monday night class. We have begun a very monumental project, a series of shi'urim explaining in depth the Bircat Mazon. I say monumental because the Bircat Mazon is very important on many fronts. One, as we explained in the last shi'ur, it is the only beracha that has its source from the Torah. Ve'achalta ve'sabata u'berachta. Hamotzi lecha min ha'aretz from the rabbis. La'aniyach tefillin from the rabbis. Yeshev b'sukkah from the rabbis. Although tefillin is from the Torah, the beracha is midrabbanan. Although sukkah is from the Torah, but the beracha is from the rabbis. She'akol niya b'dbaro midrabbanan. If a person drinks a cup of coffee and he doesn't make a she'akol niya b'dbaro, his transgression is on the rabbinical level, which is not good. But the Bircat Mazon, its origins are from the Torah HaKedoshah. Our rabbis tell us that even in the Midbar, when the Jewish people ate the man, they also made Bircat Mazon. Where do you see that? There's a rabbi called Rabbeinu Bahya. He wrote a sefer called Shulchan Shel Arba, and he says in the pasuk, it says, "Ubaboker tisbe'u lechem." In the morning, the people were satiated with the bread, which is the man. And then it says at the end of the pasuk, "Vida'atem ki ani Adonai Elohechem." Vida'atem, he explains, is they connected to God. How did they connect to God after they ate the bread of the man in the morning? They made the Birkat Mazon. So you see already, even Dor De'ah, Dor HaMidbar was making this beracha. We explained as well, besides being the Uraita from the Torah, the Birkat Mazon has an ability to turn the judgments into mercy. You see, at the time of eating, the Zohar HaKadosh says, Sha'at achila, sha'at milchama. The time of eating is a time of war. Where's the war? You don't see the war. The war is in the Shamayim. When a person sits down to eat a meal, in the Shamayim, the prosecuting angels come to God and say, hey, what is this guy eating? He doesn't deserve to eat. All this enjoyment, all these delicacies, he should be starving. He should be punishing himself with ta'aniyot and sigufim. And therefore it arouses judgments against us. That's why the source of the word milhama is lechem. Because the main milhama in the Shamayim is against the lechem that we're eating. Because the prosecutors, they're looking for any angle that they can have against us. So they find it. So the holy books say that by saying Birkat Mazon, not only does it silence the prosecutor, but it turns the prosecutor into a defense. We flip him around. Imagine all of a sudden in the middle of the prosecution, he says, and I want to say something else about my client. He's a great guy, and he's a Sadiq. Sadiq, what are you talking about? You just read the 98 curses on the guy. But the Birkat Mazon flips him. That's why we end the Birkat Mazon by saying, Oseh Shalom b'mromav. Whereas before Birkat Mazon, there was milhama. The Gemara, the Zohar HaKadosh says, Sha'at achila, sha'at milhama. That the time of eating is a time of war. The war is in Shamayim. However, by the time the Birkat Mazon ends, Oseh Shalom b'mromav. We raise the flag of peace. No more war against us. Now the prosecutors become our defense angel. I'd like to explain tonight in the introduction something else that's brought down from Rabbeinu Ari. It's brought down in the Halakha, in the Ba'er Hetev, in Siman Kuf Pe Gimal Sif Katan Yud Aleph. We have those books over there. You don't have to bring them, but you could check it up, what he says. He writes that it is customary before one makes Bircat Hamazon to put on Malbush Alyon. Malbush Alyon is the jacket. Why? What is the inyan? So the simple interpretation is, since this is the Beracha from the Torah, it has even more credence than the Amidah. The Amidah is only from the rabbis. This is already Minat Torah, so therefore you have to be dressed. You shouldn't make the Beracha casually in short sleeves or just a shirt. A person goes to a fancy restaurant. Some of the restaurants have a big sign outside, formal attire only. The guy walks in without a jacket, jacket only. I was once on a cruise, and they're eating in the big dining room of the cruise ship. For dinner, you must come. There's a guy standing at the door. Excuse me, sir. Please, this formal dinner tonight. You have to have a jacket on. So Birkat Hamazon is not worse than the formal dining on a cruise. So therefore, the Ben Wari said Malbush Alyon. But I'd like to explain it a little deeper. If you remember, we've said in previous shi'urim, that all the berachot come from the name of God, Yud Ke Vav Ke. Yud Ke Vav Ke is the name of mercy. We also explained recently that the name of Yud Ke Vav Ke, that's the name of mercy, can be developed in 4 different ways. Although Yud Ke Vav Ke numerically equals 26, that's why you see some people when they go up to the Sefer Torah, $26 to the Bet Knesset. Where'd you get 26 from? Oh, because that's the numerical value of Yud Ke Vav Ke. Okay, but there's also higher numerical values. So he uses Yud Ke Vav Ke to gyp the synagogue from donations. He blames it on Hashem, Yud Ke Vav Ke, which I know. Yud Ke Vav Ke. But there's 4 different ways, as we reviewed on Shabbat, that we're able to develop and open up the Yud Ke Vav Ke. One way, for example, we could turn the Yud Ke Vav Ke to equal 72. Magic. One way we could make it equal 63. Another way it could equal 45. And yet another way it could equal 52. And that's where all the berachot come from. From these 4 names of Hashem, when they're opened up properly, the beracha trickles down through all these letters and comes down to Bnei Adam. As an example, how can Yud Ke Vav Ke equal? Now when I say Yud Ke is not a kuf, Ke is a He. I don't want to say Yud He Vav, I don't want to say the name of Hashem, so I say Yud Ke, but you shouldn't think Ke is Ke. Ke is a He. How does Yud Ke Vav Ke equal 72? Very simple. Yud is Yud Vav Dalet. Yud. Spell it. Hey, that's already 20. Look at that. I didn't even do anything yet and I have 20. He is He Yud. He. I can spell He Yud. Correct? 15. 20 and 15. 35. Vav is Vav Yud Vav. Vav Yud Vav. No, Vav Yud Vav. 22. 57, 35 and 20, 57. Hey Yud again, 15. 57 and 15, 72. So when you're writing all these letters, Yud Vav Daled, Hey Yud, Vav Yud Vav, Hey Yud, boom, 72. I'll give you one more just for the practice of it. Although it's important for you to know all these names. Let's talk about the name of God that equals 45. Yud Vav Daled. That never changes. So that's easy. That's an automatic. Yud Vav Daled always stays the same. Yud is 20. Now let's spell the He with an Aleph. I can spell He with a Yud or an Aleph. He Aleph. Correct? He Aleph is 6. Bingo. 26. In this system, the first 2 letters equal 26 instead of the whole word. Vav, I can spell Vav Aleph Vav, which is 13. 26 and 13 is 39. And then the last He Aleph is 6. 39 and 6. 45. Now I want to tell you a secret as a side point. With this name, Yud Ke Vav Ke of the 45, that's the name that God created Adam Arishon. Oh. When Hashem created Adam Arishon, it was through this name. How do I know? Because Adam, Aleph Daled Mem equals 45. The significance of Adam's name 45 is connected that name Yud Ke Vav Ke of 45. But where was Hava made from? Hava was made from Adam. Correct? Wasn't Hava from the inside of Adam? What's the numerical value of Hava? Het, Vav, He. Het is 8, Vav is 6, and He is 5. That is 19. Hava comes from Adam. Let's look at the name Yudke Vatke in the Mem He system. Let's not look at the outside letters, because the outside letters are Yud He Vav He, that's 45. Look at the inner letters. The Yud is Yud Vav Dalet. Just take the Vav Dalet. That's the inner letters. The Vav Dalet. Vav Dalet is how much? 10. He, the Aleph is the inner letter. That's 1. So 10 and 1 is 11. Yud He Vav. Vav is Vav, Aleph Vav. The inner letter is Aleph Vav. That's 7. 11 and 7 is 18. And then the He, the inner letter is the Aleph. That's 19. Gematria Hava. That means Hava is from the inside of Adam. Because in the Shem of Mem He, the inner letters equal 19, which is Hava. So it's Adam, and inside is Hava. So that's a lot of secrets behind these names over here. Now, the 4 systems of 72, 63, 45, and 52, that's where all the Shefa and all the Beracha comes from. Altogether, that equals 232, which is the numerical value of the word Ha-Beracha. That when somebody tells you, I want the Beracha, Ha-Beracha, Ha-Beracha 232. Why is Ha-Beracha 232? Because then you're under the umbrella of Shem Ayin Bet, Shem Samech Gimal, Shem Mem He, Shem Ben, Ben is 52. That's Ha-Beracha. If you get under that umbrella, it's raining, all the berachot on that person, that's the highest madrega. Now watch. If this is true, Rabbeinu Ari writes a big hadush. He says the world in the upper shamayim, in the upper heavens, the world is different worlds. Most of the guys in our shi'ur are only familiar with Disney World, unfortunately. That's not one of the worlds we're talking about. The whole world is one big Disney World over here. Out of the fantasy world that we're living in, there's olamot in the higher levels in the shamayim. I once said there's 2 worlds, and everybody fits in one of the 2 worlds. There's the yeshiva world, and there's Disney World. Baruch Hashem, the members of our shul, we're part of the yeshiva world. We're part of the Torah, learning. Everybody else that's not studying Torah, even if you're living on Ocean Parkway, you're Disney World. You're in the Mickey Mouse land. You're in Goofy land. Now, in the upper world in Shamayim, there's a world called Olam HaMalbush. Actually, Rabbeinu Ari calls it Malbush Alyon. That world called Malbush Alyon, that's where all the berachot of 232 comes from that upper world. That's why he says, well, they say that at the end of the Bircat HaMazon, how do we end Bircat HaMazon? Adonai oz la'amo yiten, Adonai yibarech et amo b'shalom. So he says, Hashem, Amonai, Yibarech. The numerical value of Yibarech is Yud Bet, which is 12, Resh is 200, and Chaf is 20. Yibarech is 232. Hashem Yibarech. From the Yudke Vavke, that's where you get the Yibarech. That's where the 232 comes down. Adonai Yibarech. But from which word? From which world? Et amo b'shalom. The word Bashalom is the same letters as Malbush. Because the Yebarech, the 232, comes from Olam HaMalbush. Hashem yivarech et amo bashalom. Bashalom malbush. That's why Rabbeinu Ari says, before you make the Birkat Hamazon, you should put on Malbush Ha'alyon. Because when you're putting on Malbush Ha'alyon, the upper jacket, you're really connecting to Malbush Ha'alyon in the upper spheres. So this putting on a jacket for Birkat Hamazon is not just formal, cruise ship, formal attire. No, the putting on the Malbush Alyon is connecting yourself to a world called the Malbush, and that's the Hashem Yivarech, Et Amo B'Shalom, and that's where all the Shefa comes from. Furthermore, just as a bonus, our rabbis tell us that when God created the world began with light. Like it says in the Pasuk, Vayomer Elohim Yehi Or. Let there be light. That means in the beginning it was all light, and the rabbis tell us that this light was called Or HaGanuz. This was a special light, a light of pleasure, a light of beracha, Or Ganuz, the light of the tzaddikim that comes down and brings tremendous shefa. All the beracha comes from this light. Yehi is how much? Yud is 10, and He is 5, and Yud is 10, so that's 25. And Or, well, that's easy enough. Aleph is 1, and Vav is 6, that's 7. And Resh, 207 and 25 is 232. Yehi Or. 232, that's all the Shemot. 72, 63, 45, 52. That means when one says Birkat Hamazon, he's connecting himself to that Olam HaMalbush, that upper world. And in that upper world, that's the world of Yivarech, where all the Shefa comes from. And that's where the original Or HaGanuz was. That's the Yehi Or. And therefore the tremendous light that comes on a person when he's making this Beracha. And that's why I say there is a statement from the Sefer HaChinuch. Sefer HaChinuch says that if a person makes the Birkat Hamazon, I think we have a copy of the Chinuch, read it over here. He says those that are careful to make the Birkat Hamazon properly, he writes that we have a tradition here. We have a tradition that his Parnasah will always be, Oh, you have it there? There's the copy of it? והעניין הזה, שחייבנו האל ברוך הוא ברכה בקריאת התורה לפניו ובמזון לאחריו. He goes on and says, he's giving you the reason. I just want to see where he says that you died to hear his words. It's probably at the end. Anyways, Lashon is he'll have his parnasah his whole life bechavod. He won't be lacking. What's the explanation? When you make the Birkat, we're guaranteeing you, this is Sigula the Parnasah. Now, I don't know if it rivals the red string, because the red string is very beneficial. It brings a lot of Parnasah to the guy that sold it to you. But I don't know about the guy that's wearing it. But the point is, the Birkat Hamazon, the Sefer HaChinuch writes, is a Sigula. It brings Parnasah to the people that are saying, why? For the simple reason. Because you're connecting to this upper world, the world of Yehi Or, and in that world over there, it's all the 4 Yud Kei Vav Keis, and therefore, that's why I always wondered why people are looking to get out of making the Birkat Hamazon. They'll travel 18 hours to Hong Kong to make money, but where the rabbis are telling you this as a guarantee for Parnasah, No, I'm not washing. How come you're not washing? I don't want to be Birkat Hamazon. But you just came back from Hong Kong 18 hours. There you didn't measure 18. For 3 minutes, you're already playing. And in the 18 hours in Hong Kong, you're not guaranteed to make Parnasah. Sifri Hanuk didn't say whoever goes to Hong Kong is to make Parnasah. He didn't guarantee us that. But he clearly said, whoever makes the Birkat Hamazon, מקובל אני מרבותיי, שכל הזהיר בברכת המזון, מזונותיו, מצויים לו בכבוד כל ימיו. Could you get a better statement than that? The Hanuch is telling you, מקובל אני, is one of these shunim, we learn the Sefer Hanuch every Friday night. That rabbi is telling you, I guarantee, מזונותיו, מצויים לו בכבוד. There is a theory out there. I'm not saying I subscribe to this theory, but there is a theory out there that wants to say that why is it that Parnassah today has become very, very difficult? Although people are still making money, Baruch Hashem, but we'll all agree it became much harder to make money. The past decade, or maybe less, we still go to work, but whether it's the different rules and regulations now, and the different taxes, and the different paperwork, and whatever it may be, or just the way of the world. There is a theory out there that says, you know when this started? With the mezonot bread. The mezonot bread brought a lot of difficulty in Parnassah. Why? Because there's a lot of bread out there that people are making mezonot on it, for good reason. Because it says it on the package. And the package is Shulchan Aruch, which means you can open up Shulchan Aruch. What do you have to open up Shulchan Aruch for? The guy in the factory that put mezonot on the package, that's just as good, or better. The Mexican in the restaurant, the waiter, you could ask him also, hey, is this mezonot? Oh yeah, mezonot. Now, you could trust that Mexican just by looking at his tattoo. That already you know that he's credible to know whether it's mezonot, even though the rabbis themselves are debating it, but he already has the halakha. This is mezonot, and you trust him. Oh, he said mezonot. The guy's not going to lie to me. Why is he not going to lie to you? He'll kill you. He's not going to lie to you. He'll kill you if you give him a chance to. So therefore, everybody became lazy that on a lot of breads they're making mezonot. And as a result of that, they're losing out on the Birkat Hamazon. And once you lose out on the Birkat Hamazon, you're losing out on all the Shefa, of Yehi Or, of Olam HaMalbuch, and Olam. Not only that, but I will point it out over here, because we have one of our tzaddikim with us here, Rabbi Yosef, and he'll be the first one to tell you, that the Beracha for Sephardim on pizza is Hamotzi. Now, of course, we've been influenced by the Ashkenazim. So, 1 slice, 2 slices, 3 slices, now became 1 pie, half a falafel, the guy's eating the whole thing over there, and the guys have, so now you have pash tomato, there's 3, there's already Shulchan Aruch on this. J2 on Avenue J is 3.5, the guy in the city is 1.6, now already became a whole seif on this here. According to Sephardim, pizza is hamotzi. And therefore, the kind of guys go to the pizza store, they don't want to take 3 minutes, because to wash your hands takes a minute about. And we're so busy, that'll take away from the solitaire on the internet. You know, 1 minute here, I can't play baseball on the internet. I'm so busy, I'm doing a lot of important things. I can't play chess in the league. Even though they don't understand that the Nitilat Yadayim brings Parnassah. The Gemara says, whoever uses a lot of water with the Nitilat Yadayim, Mayim is Rashi Tevot, Malei Yaderim Berchotecha. Fill my hands up with your blessings. But the guy says, no, I don't want to wash. You ever see the people at the table? No, I'm not having bread, but they're picking. No, I'm not. Why'd you go wash? No, I'm not having anything. Meanwhile, he picked the whole thing. He picked the whole table. He picked the whole table up. He put it in his mouth. But he's not having bread. But he doesn't wash. Better than that, if a person doesn't wash, what do we call a person who's a pauper? Ani. Ani Rashi Tevot al Nitilat Yadayim. Why does a person become ani? Al Nitilat Yadayim, because he doesn't make the Nitilat Yadayim. But why? Why does he make the Nitilat Yadayim? Because to get up to the kitchen, to pour the water, it takes a minute and a half. But he goes to Hong Kong for 18 hours. Where's the sechel? Here what the Gemara is telling you is factual. These are the items that bring the beracha down. And the beracha was more important than the Birkat Hamazon. So there's a theory that says, again, I'm not saying this as conclusive. I'm just throwing it out there because I don't even know if I believe in it so much. But it's something to say that all this deprivation of Birkat Hamazons in the world today, because of these mezonot quasi bagels and mezonot quasi type of product, it's robbing the world from all these Birkat Hamazons, and therefore there's no shefa. Furthermore, the inyan of the Birkat Hamazon, as we learned in last week's shiur, its structure is three berachot from the Torah. Birkat Hazan, which is the first beracha. The second beracha is Birkat Ha'aris. And the third beracha is Bonei Yerushalayim. Those three berachot are from the Torah. V'achalta, v'sabalta, u'berachta. 3 words, 3 berachot. The fourth beracha, as we'll learn later on, is from the rabbis. That came later on as an institution, and a miracle that happened in the city of Betar. Now, let's talk about the first beracha, which is called Birkat Hazan. I want to teach you something about the word zan. If you remember in last week's shiur, we spoke extensively about zan equaling 57, about the 57 words of Mizmor LeDavid, Hashem Ro'ei Lo Ahsar, explaining how that connects to the inyan of the Parnasah. Today I want to go a little further. Zan is Parnasah. God sustains us. Now, our rabbis tell us the Parnasah comes from Midat Hadin. Now, I know you know Din is judgments. Now, I would have said Parnasah comes from mercy. God is sustaining us, like we say in the first beracha, Behen, Behesed, Berevah, Berhamim. These are all words of mercy. And now I'm coming here tonight, and I'm telling you that indeed the Birkat Hamazon and the Zan comes from Din. Why? So explanation is like this. Something that is mandatory, that comes from Din. Something that's obligatory is Din. Something that's optional is Hesed. As an example, when I give my child something to eat, is that Hesed? No, that's Din. Obligatory. I brought this child into the world. It's my obligation to feed him. He didn't ask to come into this world. So therefore, this is Din, meaning it's just. That's the perfect word. It's just. Now, if I'm walking in the street and I see a total stranger, and he says, please, could you give me something, some food to eat, something to eat? And out of the goodness of my heart, I'm not obligated to feed this guy. It's not on my family. I take out money, I give him something to eat. That's Hesed. Understand the difference? God created us. We didn't ask to be created. So therefore, the one that creates us, it's his obligation to feed us. V'chi, God's going to create man, and then say, well, yeah, that's it. I don't know, go find your food. I'm not providing food. But that's cruelty. You created us. So therefore, the Parnasah, actually, according to the holy books, comes from Midat Hadin. It's not in a bad way. The Midat Hadin, in this sense, is it's coming to us because the one that creates us has an obligation to feed us. Like it says in the pasuk, "Umasbiya lechol hay." Since God made us high, so with the high has to come umasbiya. Umasbiya lechol hay. Those things go together. You can't give us life without giving us masbiya. You have to give us sustenance. That's why I want to explain something to you. When it comes As an example, God gave us the Torah. He didn't have to give us the Torah. Torah is a gift. Torah is chesed. All these secrets that I'm telling you tonight. This is God's gift to us. He didn't have to give us all this Torah that we have. But because God loves us, He gave us such a good matana, a gift of life, called the Torah. You see, that's chesed. That's why we once explained the following. When a person goes up to the Sefer Torah, how does he greet the Kahal? What does he say? Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. He uses God's name of Yud-Ke Vav-Ke. Because Yud-Ke Vav-Ke is what? Chesed. Because when we go up to the Sefer Torah, we say, God, this is chesed. We don't deserve such a Torah. You gave us a gift, matana tova. But when we sit down to make the zimun, and we have 10 guys sitting around the table, how does the one that's making the zimun greet the other 9 guys? He says, Nevarech Elohenu she'achalnu mishel. Over there, he doesn't say Yud-Ke Vav-Ke. Because when it comes to the Bircat Hamazon, there we say, when Nevarech Elohenu. Why? Because there already it's Din. Elohenu is Din. Because there in the Birkat Hamazon, it's almost as if we're saying, Borei Olam. It's almost as if you're obligated. It's only right, it's only just that you provide for us. That's the difference why Birkat Hamazon gets Elohenu, and why Sefer Torah gets Barechu et Yud-Ke Vav-Ke. It's a very important observation there. Now, I want to go further. In the word Zan, Zan is God's power to sustain us. However, He's only obligated to sustain us if we're doing the right things. A father sustains his child as long as the child is loyal to a certain degree. But if the child becomes a rebel against his father, and the child now is harming the father, and the child is abusive to the father still has to give him ice cream puffs? Of course not. And therefore, technically, the parnasah that God owes us is when we're behaving. That's why if you remember in the Kiryat Shema that we say every night, we say, Shamiru lachem. God says, be careful. First he says, Vayayim shema wa tishmi'u. If you listen to the mitzvot, don't worry. V'asafta deganecha, v'tiroshecha v'yisarecha, v'achalta v'saba'ata. You're going to eat, you're going to be... You keep the mitzvot, I'll guarantee you, open check. But then he tells us in the next sentence, Shamiru lachem. I'm warning you. If you make a left turn, the hara afashim b'chem, why God's going to get ba'atzaret hashamayim, I'm going to no rains, v'lo yeh matar, v'hadama lo titen et yibula, no more sustenance from the ground, v'abadetim mehera, barmenan, destruction, and then we're going to be put in the hands of our enemies. So therefore, parnasah will only come to us when we're doing the mitzvot, when we're loyal to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's a very key point to remember. If you take the word Zan, it's an easy word, Zayin Nun. How do you spell a Zayin? Zayin, Yud Nun. Zayin, right? Nun is also an easy word to spell. Nun Vav Nun. Nun. I saw brought down in Sfarim that in the middle of this word, Zayin, the letter is a Yud. Zayin, the middle letter is Yud. Zayin. In Nun, the middle letter is Vav. That spells Vai. Because in the Parnasah, there is an element of Vai. What is Vai? Vai is, whoa. Because if the person does not earn it through the mitzvot and through the good deeds, then the zan turns into a vai. That inherent in there is vai. Now I'm going to teach you a secret. Why those two letters vav yud, we say vai is a negative. Well, it's the reason why it's simply negative because vai, even Ashkenazim, they say oy vai, they say oy vai. That's where they get it from. But I'm going to show you more. I don't know if you guys know ta'amim. You know in the Torah, you know what? You know the ta'amim? Zarka. Joe, sing. Where's the...
Thank you.
Oh, okay, no, because you did it very good over there. It's very nice. Now watch this. The notes of the Torah, ta'amim. One of the names of the ta'amim is called Tibir. I'm going to sing it. Darga Tibir, Tibir. You heard of Tibir, yes? You know what the word Tibir means? In Aramaic, tabar means to break. Tibir means it's busted, it's broken. How do you make the notes? Tibir, how do you write it? Tibir is actually like a semicircle, which really looks like a vav, and inside is a yud. The tibir is actually vai, and that's why it's called tibir. Because what does tibir mean? Broken, because it's made up of the letters vav and yud, and therefore in the zan there's a musar. The two letters that are in the middle of the zan are vai, which is tibir, which means broken. That be careful, the zan is very tenuous, it's very sensitive. Shamiru nachem, pin yiftir lebabchem, and then has v'shalom, it could be ruined. Now, the first word of the Bircat Hamazon is, of course, Baruch. Oh. Most people do not know how to interpret the word Baruch. If I were to ask somebody, what does Baruch mean? You say, oh, Baruch, we're blessing God. Oh, you're blessing God now? When did you become worthy to bless God all of a sudden? You're not blessing God. You see, this happens from the people that when they become sandak and they're blessing all the people, so it gets to their head. They say, well, when I was a sandak, I blessed half the shul. So now I must be blessing God also. But it's not so. You're not blessing God. Baruch means God is the source of all blessings. What does blessing mean? Blessing means something that's more than one. Something that's one is not a blessed. It's individual. Something that's double is a beracha. Understand? One, it's not blessed, it's one, it's individual. But when one turns into two, beracha. Beracha means when there's an overflow. That's why the holy books write, in digits of one, what is the beracha? 2. What letter in Hebrew is 2? Bet. That's why beracha starts with a bet. In digits of tens, what would be the beracha? If I have 10, what's beracha then? 20. Double it. That's why it's a chaf. And in digits of 100, what would be the beracha? Double it. That's the resh. So therefore the letters bet, resh, and chaf are basically double, all double letters. Because that's showing me that God brings the beracha. That's why also the same letters, barech, in our religion, which child gets the double share?
The Bechor.
Bechor. Bet is double. Chaf is double in tens. And the resh is the double on the hundreds. And therefore he's called the Bechor. Because the Bechor gets the barech. You understand how it's working? You get, it works both ways. Now, besides that, in the word Baruch is also the same letters as Kiruv. Because where was the blessing of God found? On the cherubs. The Kirubim were in the Beit HaMikdash, that's where the Shekhinah rested. So the Baruch also tells us where the blessing was found on the Karuf. Not only that, but I'd like to make a point here. In the word Baruch, in the beginning of the Amidah, in the beginning of the Bircat Hamazon, or many of the Berachot for that matter, we start off like this. Baruch Atah Hashem. That means we're talking to God directly. Atah. In Hebrew we call that Lashon Nochach. You know what Lashon Nochach means? Yeah, someone's in front of me. How do I know it's Nochach? Guys, Atah. Baruch Atah. You're here. Yes? But then in the middle, I switch from Lashon Nochach to what's called Lashon Nistar. Hidden. I say, Ha'el Hazan Otanu. I say, you're Ha'el. You are Hazan. I don't say, Ata Ha'el Hazan. I go now to, as if I'm a little removed. Where in the beginning I'm talking Lashon Nochach, Baruch Atah, and then I go back to talking removed by saying Ha'el Hazan. If I was talking Lashon direct, I would say She'atah Zan. I don't say She'atah Zan. I say Hazan Mefanes. The one that, what is the one? I'm talking to you. If I say to you, you, Yitzhak, the one that, what is the one? You're talking to me, what's the one? Hazan et ha'olam. You understand how we switched gears? There's a big lesson in Beracha. God is sometimes nigleh, He's revealed to us, but at a certain level, He's nistar. If I can give a mashal. The sun is nigleh to us. How do we know the sun exists? We see its work. We see its light. The sun is revealed to us. But at the same time, can anybody look at the sun directly? No. So the sun has an element of nistar. We recognize that it's there. We see its results. But at the end of the day, it's beyond us. So the sun is nigleh v'nistar at the same time. God, kivyachol, is the same way. We see God through His manifestation of what He does to us. So He's nigleh. So at a certain point we say, Baruch Atah, we see you, God. We see you do what you're doing. We see the world. This is all of your berakah. But at the same time, as much as we see you, we cannot fathom you. Therefore, right away we get close, and then right away we go talk third person, Hazan, or we don't talk directly anymore, because you cannot hit God straight. This is a big yesod in Beracha. We always are switching back from Lashon Nochach to Lashon Nistar. Nochach, Nistar. You following? That's why there's a custom that you see some people when they're praying, they shake. You ever see the shakers?
Oh boy.
We're not against them. There's nothing wrong with them. They shake. Back and forth, back and forth. Now you're thinking that it's just habitual, or the shaking comes from nerves. No, the shaking, actually, David HaMelech was a shaker. He says, Kal atzmotai tomarna Adonai michamocha. All my limbs praise you. How does all the limbs praise? They were shaking. The Gemara says about Rabbi Akiva, when he used to pray at home, they used to find him in one corner, and at the end of the Amidah, he was in a different corner. He was so animated and motivated during the Amidah. What's the inyan of the shaking? So I saw brought down from Rav Shimon Schwab as follows. When you're praying to Kadosh Baruch Hu, we're saying Baruch Atah. When you say Baruch Atah, what do? Baruch Atah, we bow. What are we saying? God, we understand you. God, we recognize you. We see all that you're doing. You bring down Shefa, so we get close. And then what happens when we say Hashem's name? Amonai, we come back. It's as if to say, we're far from you. As much as we think that we're close to you, we can't understand you. As much as we understand the sun, but we can't look at the sun directly, so we have to pull back. The more we think we know you, the more we realize that we have no understanding of you. And therefore the bowing is, we understand you, we don't understand you. We're close to you, we have no clue. You do so many good things to us that we recognize, but you're beyond us. So that motion is a motion of almost, if we could say it like this, Ahavat Hashem, Yirat Hashem. Ahavat Hashem, Yirat Hashem. They're not going to teach you this in yoga class. They don't give you these kavanot. But I'm giving you the kavanot of the calisthenic of Amidah. When they're twisting themselves like a pretzel, like contortionists, they're not giving you kavanot, Yirat Hashem, Ahavat Hashem. They're telling you about the ashram and all that other stuff of the Avodah Zarah. But here, even the movements of the Amidah, Ahava Yir'ah. And that's how we start the Bircat HaMazon. Baruch Atah, we feel it. You gave us Parnasah, where's this coming from? From nowhere? But at the end of the day, as much as we say Atah, we say, Hazan Umfanes. You are the one that's what we don't say Atah Hazan. No more Atah. Atah is only in the beginning, but then as close as we get, all of a sudden we turn into Lashon Nistar. Last Hidush of the night. Trivia question. Which letter is not in the Bircat HaMazon? Okay. The Peh Sofit. There is no Peh Sofit in the Bircat HaMazon. And I know one of the guys is going to open up the Siddur, and he's going to spend all night trying to find the Peh Sofit just to prove me wrong. I have no problem. You could do it. But I'm telling you there's no Peh Sofit in the Bircat HaMazon, so don't waste your time. But still, there's always a guy that will text me, by the way, I found one. And then I'll text them back, at the Tzadi Sofit, go learn the letters. You don't know the difference between a Tzadi Sofit and a Peh. That's what happens all the time. Every time I say this, the guy says, I found one. He found one. He's incriminating himself that he doesn't know the Aleph Bet. Anyway, there's no Peh Sofit in the Bircat HaMazon. Why? Because the Sefarim HaKedoshim say there's certain mashhitim, mekatregim, negative energies, angels of destruction that are known by the Peh Sofit, and they are called Shetzef, Ketzef, Af is anger, Nega, or Negef, and Reshef. These are all the malachim that have the Peh Sofit. And since when one says the Birkat HaMazon, there's no Af, there's no Peh. All those malachim, they lose their Pehs. And once they lose their Pehs, there is no ability for them to have any destruction. So therefore, it's a great silence mechanism against the Mekatregim. That's why also, the custom that we have is, that before we say the Birkat HaMazon, we take the knife off the table. Many reasons have been given, and we'll explain other reasons in the coming classes. But for tonight's class, the simple interpretation, who is blessed with the knife? Esav. Exactly. Yaakov Abinu was blessed with Torah. But Esav, his brother, was blessed. Al-Harbecha Tihyeh. The sword he lives. When one makes the Birkat HaMazon, there's no more sword of Esav. You can take the knives off the table. Because the sword of Esav, which represents Has v'Shalom, wars and destruction and all bad things, the knife is removed as a symbol that we're about to do this ceremony of Birkat HaMazon, just like there's no Peh. Just like when Yaakov Abinu blessed his children. You'll look in Parashat Vayhi. The blessings that Yaakov gave his sons, there's also no Peh Sofit in that blessing as well. Because those blessings, if fulfilled, It protects them from any shetzef, ketzef, reshef, af, and all the other mekatrigim. I think we've proven our point tonight, Rabotai, that the Birkat Hamazon has great value, has great protective forces, has great economic benefits. But again, I don't want to give you the wrong impression. I don't want you to come out of this class, or any of the classes that you go to, and you say, oh, the religion is like a slot machine. You do this, you push the lever, blah, 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 you make money. It's not, don't make the religion into it's not a game over here. Well, the Rabbi said, sevens, Yuri, sevens, boom, flus. Okay, now what? Now we're going to go to the Baccarat table, Birkat Hamazon. Roll the thing over there. Oh, Yuri, Birkat Hamazon, ding, 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 ding. No. That's a perk. It's a benefit. The real reason why we do the mitzvot is because God said to do the mitzvot. And guess what? Even if God would have told us, make Birkat Hamazon and you're going to lose money. We have no choice but make Birkat Hamazon. Happens to be you can never lose. In the long run, you never lose from the religion. So Baruch Hashem, God is good to us. But that shouldn't be our motivating force to do the mitzvot for the bonus, for the perk. Ultimately, we serve God because Hashem wants us to serve Him. אל תהיו כעבדים המשמשים את הרב על מנת לקבל פרס. אלא הבו כעבדים המשמשים את הרב שלא על מנת לקבל פרס. We're not looking for the pras, but don't get nervous. There is a pras. There's a reward. So we only make a big deal out of it so that people will realize, wow, this Birkat, even the jacket on the Birkat Hamazon, the way it's connecting us to Olam HaMalbush. Adonai Oz La'amo Yitin. Adonai Yibarech Gematria 232. את עמו בשלום, ברוך אדוני לעולם, אמן ואמן, רבי חנניה ברכת שאומר, סגר ברכות לישראל, כפיך, קרבת לב תורה וחופש למען צדקו, יביא תורה ויאדיר.